This is where it blew out. You see all this black? Dude, that was the fireball. Now, how many gallons of oil do you think were inside that transformer?
A couple of hundred?
10,000. 10,000 gallons. So what are they doing right here?
Did they plant exclusion zones around there for that eventuality?
No, it was put in the 70s before you were required to have oil basin containments, right?
Yeah.
So it actually spilled into all that earth and they had to take it out to the landfill.
Yeah.
Environmental remediation?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's one project that had good intentions that went awry. Switching transients, power quality, another one of those on the southern list. You know, switching in and out, and every time you close and open a switch, it's going to cause a transient. Every time you turn the capacitor bank on and off, it's going to cause a transient. That's what these are up here in the top right corner. On the right-hand side, do you see the magnitude of the voltage ordinarily? Small. Those transients are huge, right? So equipment's going to see tremendous overvoltage. Although it's for a very short period of time, it's going to cause them problems. Particularly very sensitive drives that run in speed motors, motor controls, right? Any voltage excursion, they don't handle very well. Even though they're momentary sags and swells, they can cause misoperation of switchgear, shut down motor drives, distributed generation can shut off, damage sensitive electrics, and doggone it, it makes your VCR clocks flash, right? It's not so much of a problem anymore.
Yeah.
During a lightning storm, have you ever noticed how the lights come on, off, on, off, on, off? Do you know what's going on there? Well, let's see if we can figure that out. Now, obviously, there's some trouble that's happened on the line, right? There's some trouble that's happened on the line. It could be a temporary issue, like a lightning strike, or it could be something more permanent, like a tree fell on it and the line's laying on the ground. So we set that recloser at the substation to test. Close, open, close, open, close, open. You're hoping when it closes, it stays what? Closed, right? But if the problem's still there, it's going to do what? Open, right? You're going to try that on and off. So there's a lightning storm going on in your house, the lights go off. How long do they stay off?
Not very long.
About 2 seconds, right? Then they come back on. Now, if everything's cool, they do what? Stay on, right? So what are you hoping happened in that 2-second time period? The lightning strike dissipated its energy through the ground, and everything's cool, and you close back in, everything's fine, right? But what if it's not a lightning strike? Well, it's going to open again, right? And how long is it going to wait? 2 seconds again. All right? Sometimes these times are different, all right? It depends on what your utility is. So it could wait and you're in the dark for 10 seconds and then it comes on. So what are you hoping happens in that 10 seconds?
Problem goes away.
Yeah, but what would the problem be? It's not lightning.
Squirrel?
No, it could be a squirrel.
Squirrel.
It could definitely be a squirrel. But what do you hope goes away in 10 seconds?
A branch laying on it that burns off.
A branch, a tree branch, right, that landed on it. Maybe it'll burn off. More than that, though, it's probably the wind blew a line into it, and then you're hoping the tree limb blew away back out of the line. Because if it falls on there, it's probably going to stay there a little bit longer, okay? But you're hoping it's some kind of momentary thing like that, right? Try it. Come on, lights come on, you think, oh, crap, they're on. Oh, crap, they're off again. So this time you may have to wait 20, 30 seconds, right? What do you hoping's happened in that 20, 30 seconds? Plus the 10, plus a couple of 2s you had before.
The line crew goes out there and fixes it.
Yeah. What do you hoping happens then? That's when you hope Rocky the squirrel, who's frying on there, finally falls off, right? Or you hope that finally the tree branch falls down, right? Now, if your transmission you do longer, you do 2 minutes for that last restrike, because you really want that squirrel to fry off. Right? If your distribution it's a lot different. It's a lot faster. So what does it look like? Here's regular current going, zzz, I got in trouble. Oh, I turned off. Try again, turn it off. Try again, turn it off. Try again, crack. You're not going away. So we're hosed, right? So that's what it looks like on top. Those restrikes, if you will. Transient every single time. Every single time. So, new equipment can monitor parameters digitally now, right? Not new modern day stuff. So we can monitor the voltage and the current. What we want to try to do is we want to close that recloser or close that capacitor in when the voltage is at a zero crossing. Remember, it's sinusoidal? So if you can wait till the voltage crosses right here before you open and close the switch, you're going to minimize your problem, okay? So here's a slide that you open and close the capacitor bank in at the very worst possible time, right? This capacitor bank is dead. The voltage across the capacitor bank cannot what? Electrical engineers. We don't have any in here.
Sorry. What?
The voltage across the capacitor bank cannot
Change
instantaneously. So before you close it in, it was at what volts?
High.
0 volts before you close it in. You turn it on, what's it going to do? It's going to stay at 0 volts. What's it going to make the distribution line do? Go to 0. Then what's it going to do? It's going to get mad and say, oh man, I got to pump myself full of energy.
It's going to
Zing.
overshoot. Yeah.
And that translates on the distribution line. All right? Sophisticated equipment has onboard PLCs, programmable logic controllers, microprocessors that can monitor these digital signals and determine when it's best to close and open that switch. Now, it would be really good if I could figure out where the problem of the line is in a more pinpointed, so I can improve my restoration time. Once I find the problem, I can restore as many customers as possible, right? I want to minimize my outage area, my power outage area, and I want to take advantage of some automation opportunities. Man, I'm running long. So here, fault locating technology. Those big substations that I showed you are those yellow boxes. Big ones with the breakers in them. Not every substation is outfitted that way. In fact, I got about 130 of them that are like that. I've got 280 like this that don't have very sophisticated stuff at all. It's just the ones that are sitting in your neighborhoods, right? So between two big switching stations, I've got a bunch of smaller substations that are feeding everybody's neighborhood, right? That's what's going on there. So I got a fault locator in these couple of locations, and let's see how they can take advantage of those. All right, I got a problem right here. I got a fault right here, so that means I'm going to have high current flow where? From the two substations going to the fault. That's a conductor laying on the ground, right? Well, this fault locator saw the high current, but so did this one, right? So if I know that, then my dispatchers know that they can what? Open that switch, disconnect those customers, and then close the switches in at the yellow boxes, and then everybody here, 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 and here is still good shape. All right? What if the power line problem is over here? Well, this guy didn't see it, and this guy didn't see it. But that's still valuable information to the dispatcher, right? Why? Because he knows that he can either get power to this guy or power from this guy, and these guys are still going to be in good shape. So don't just assume that I need to open this and get rid of these guys.
Right.
I've just told you that there's no problem here. Right? So I'm going to close that one in, I'm going to close that one in. First I'm going to open that, and I'm going to close that one in, and close that one in. What's this guy going to do? He's going to trip. What's that guy going to do?
Not true.
He's going to stay in, right? So all that guy, that guy, that guy, and that guy are still in there. Now, you want all that stuff to do what? Oh, I meant to make another slide. You want all that stuff. You want all that stuff to happen automatically, right? All that switching, figuring out where the fault is. If you could make that switch open before that recloser restrikes during that 2-minute outage, right? You wouldn't have to send a crew out there. Now we can do that remotely. It'll take 20 minutes to figure out what's going on if the guys are bright, right? If they don't know what the heck's going on anyway, they're still going to send a crew out there. But if it was automated, it could happen, all right? You see that? Really quickly. Now this is a really cheesy slide because I've run out of time. But there are conductors, right? Things that carry the power, the wire, and they expand when they get hot, right? They expand, and this right here is the conductor, and what's going to happen to it when it gets hot and hot and hot? It's going to sink right low. And as a utility, I've got minimum clearance distances that I have to maintain, like over a road, over buildings, over the water, various heights that I got to maintain, right? So it's going to sag.